let's move to our last item, which is board member reports. We will start with Member Azumi.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Just have one item. One of my other hats is I'm president of the U.S. Army Advisory Board for Northern California, and the Army is going to actually have a panel on the ethics of recruiting, and that's going to be held on November 9th, kind of in conjunction with Veterans Day at Sacramento City College. So that's going to be held from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Those folks here in Sacramento, or those others who are interested in those issues, should come. We're encouraging counselors, teachers, other educators to come and have their questions answered by a very distinguished panel. I'm very happy to say that on our advisory board, Barbara Davis-Lyman and Vice President Perez are members of our advisory board, and I've recruited them.
Very good.
And so they're terrific members, and I think this will be a very interesting and informative event at Sac City on November 9th from 11 o'clock.
Thank you. Member Hawkins.
Thank you, President Himmelstein. On August 26th, San Jose Evergreen Community College District hosted a regional roundtable. We had administrators, trustees, students, and community leaders. About 20 people attended. Member Ramos and I were there. Had an interesting conversation with the group. What could the Board of Governors do to help the local colleges? Enlightening sustainability, public-private partnerships, and the possibility of continuing to review regulation in Title V is where there may be ambiguity or contradictory language as it's seen in the field, seem to be some of the things that come to mind, and of course, funding.
Yeah.
So it was a good meeting. Also, I'd like to thank our hosts here at Butte for all of their hospitality, made these last 2 days very nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Davis-Lyman.
Thank you. As Member Azumi mentioned, I did attend the last Grassroots Army Advisory Group, and there's such a connection between our students in the community colleges, or possible connections of even stronger connections with an opportunity to go into one of the services and have that organization that pay for their future training and college. So it's very interesting. It fits right in with what happens at the Board of Governors. I attended a new hires reception for Los Rios, and even in these dire times, there are districts and colleges that are hiring faculty. What's interesting about this, it is a sponsored reception by the Chancellor, Bryce Harris, given by the Chancellor, Bryce Harris, and the District Academic Senate. So it's a great example of how governance can be very positive in our system. I also attended accreditation training in Oakland. I found the training to be different than past trainings that I've attended in the past, much stronger, and it was quite interesting. I happened to hear kudos to our new Vice Chancellor, Van, from someone in the field of workforce development, so that was quite exciting. And in fact, I had an opportunity to be with the Dean of Workforce Development at American River College, Chris McCullough, and then at my home received a great example of CTE training and what our students end up doing. At the California State Fair, the students from American River College in the Diesel Tech program, automotive and welding, ran away with the first prizes. And I think it's great to see these kinds of things in our communities of what happens to our students. Most importantly, though, I attended the last CPEC meeting. And as of November 18th, CPEC will no longer exist. And we had a little conversation about this yesterday. But I'm going to ask the Executive Director, Karen Humphrey, for an electronic copy of her parting words, and which were very heartfelt and very substantive. And I will send it to Injury and have Injury share it with you, because I think you will find it interesting. They have a project that is extremely valuable, especially to rural California elementary schools, called Improving Teacher Quality, and they have been refunded for this, and at this point are looking for a place to put it, and it may be the Department of Education, and Marcia Trott is the staff person who's responsible for the leadership here. It's an exciting project, and we're all hoping that it finds the right home. At that last meeting, our Vice Chancellor, Marlene Garcia, gave an incredible parting talk about CPEC, and I wanted to thank the Vice Chancellor for that. It was very graceful and very pertinent. So at the time, the irony of the CPEC decision is at a time when the heads of all three of our higher education divisions, our institutions, are working together and collaborating, and with the kind of data that we need to strengthen our education systems in California, the heads, the chancellors, and the presidents are working in such a collaborative way that our students are beginning to feel what can happen when we really are a higher education system working for students' needs. At that time, we are ending a commission that could bring the information from all three systems that we might need to further the success of our students, not only in California, but that would reverberate across the nation. So thank you for letting me be your representative on CPEC. It has been an incredible experience. Thank you.
Okay. Member Price.
I have no report.
Member Baca.
Looks like we're going to beat that 11 o'clock hour, but nevertheless, I'll be brief as possible. First of all, I want to thank the Chancellor and Vice Chancellor Michalowski and others who prepared this report on connecting the military service and civilian life. And these are hot off the press, and they're available for distribution. Also, the veterans proposal that we hopefully will be funded by J.P. Morgan Chase is going to, I think, be a very, very positive effort. And I want to thank Linda Michalowski and Jeff Spano for the work that they've been doing with the foundation. And I'm looking forward to working with the two of them and also Vice Chancellor Tom Quinlivan as we progress with this project, since a significant part of it will be career tech training and jobs. I, of course, attended the last couple, since our last meeting, task force, Student Success Task Force, one in San Diego and the other one in Sacramento. We've talked about that. I think that we're making great progress there. We've still got a bit of ways to go, but I think we've made some very significant progress there. I've also met with the members of the State Academic Senate to try to just get some additional perspectives on my role and I think the direction that we're taking with that. I had the opportunity to present a couple of Flex Day presentations at a couple of my home community colleges, Mount Sac and Rio Hondo, both during their Flex Day, and just gave a kind of an update on the student success work. And very, very excited, both faculty there and staff very excited about the work that's being done, and they're looking forward to making their contributions and comments with regard to the range of things that we're covering. Also, the Vet Summit, we've talked about that, December 2nd, and that's coming together. And again, thanks to the efforts of the Chancellor's Office and also the Faculty Association which has been very much involved and will be contributing very much to this Veterans Summit down in San Diego. And lastly, well, second to the last thing, I attended the Orange County Black Chamber of Commerce, our former colleague on this board, Bobby McDonald, did a fantastic job of organizing a commemoration of Martin Luther King. It was supposed to coincide with the Martin Luther King dedication in Washington, D.C., but unfortunately, because of the hurricane that was occurring, it was postponed a bit, so didn't quite coincide, but nevertheless, it was a great effort on the part of the Orange County Chamber committee members and Bobby McDonald. And I wasn't able to attend, but I understand that, well, I know that he was as I think was mentioned yesterday, he was into the Hall of Fame of Harvard College. And so another accomplishment by our former board member. And lastly, just I want to thank Butte for the hospitality, and it's been a very interesting trip here. This is the first time I've been up in this area, and it's a great place to live and work, and I think the community college here is doing a fantastic job. It seems like the leadership is very good, and the faculty and staff are doing a fantastic job with very, very numerous activities. Thank you very much.
Vice President Perez.
I, too, had the pleasure of attending the Black Chamber event and providing some words on the education tie-in and the importance of fulfilling the dream of giving access to all for education. One of the things I was extremely proud of, though, there was so much representation from community colleges in that audience. There must have been at least 5 tables of community college participants, members from that community, trustees, as well as staff members, et cetera. And I just thought that was a wonderful representation and support, not only for that chamber, but also just around education in general and the importance of education. It was I thought it was such a collaborative event with so many different venues of individuals giving, thoughts and comments about the importance of education and tying it into the dream, which is what we hope to provide to many, is the dream to have the opportunity to be educated. The other thing is I have been participating on one of the Economic Development Task Force that's focused on, is an advisory panel focused on small business access to exporting services, and it's an upcoming grant that we're looking to have such a wonderful group of individuals on that. And to me, the importance of that is not only the tie-in with our economic and development workforce area, but also the contributions that our small businesses make to our local economies. And there's a direct link between them and with our community colleges. And so often, a lot of our discussion is around faculty and the actual curriculum administration to students. But another very critical point, and this is one area that I didn't see really represented in our Student Success Task Force, but another very critical piece is this work that's being done in the training area of workforce development. So I just want the board to keep that top of mind, and let's not lose sight of the contributions that makes to our economy. Lastly, I would just love to thank our host for hosting us here today. One of my favorite parts of everything we do throughout the year is coming to the campus. This is where the rubber hits the road. Having the opportunity to engage with students, particularly this campus, one of the things I loved the most was seeing where the interdisciplines and the students came together for actual projects that we were able to look at on campus. And I can only imagine the student pride that's associated with that, where students walk through and they can actually say that's something that they had a hand in or something they participated in. It's almost like an architecture that builds a building, and they can always say, I had a hand in that building. But anyway, I just want to thank the campus for hosting us and the students as well. Thank you.
Member Baum.
I also want to echo our thanks to Butte College. It's been wonderful getting to know some of the faculty, the staff, the leadership, and also I've really enjoyed chatting with the students here, and there's a sense of pride and purpose that permeates this place. And so impressed with the facilities and the management. My hat's off to their Board of Trustees for their successful completion of their bond measure, and the evidence is all around us. And that amazing Student Success Center that we were able to walk through and seeing how alive it was with the activities. So thanks to that. And then my last point will be, again, a public acknowledgement of the re-election of our colleague Manuel Baca to the Mount SAC Board of Trustees. And he won unanimous re-election this fall. So
It was an easy election
Yes.
process.
So it's great to acknowledge his leadership, too.
Thank you.
Member Malumed.
I'm going to start with something just a little bit irritating for me. There's an alternate newspaper in Sacramento called the Sacramento News and Review. I guess they have one up in Chico also. And they were talking about things to do for the summer that were not expensive. And on their long list was taking a PE course at Sacramento City College because it's such a great deal. So I did share that with the chancellor. I'm also still working on helping new board members get oriented and make that process better. So our new board member, Natalie Berg, had emailed that she was going to go to the Consultation Council meeting, which she ended up not doing because she was a bit confused about all that. But I went to the meeting about a month ago, and it was good for me, and I will mention, just think about going sometime, board members, if it's convenient. They did an orientation because they had new people. So I enjoyed it a lot, and I got to spend some time there and go through some of their exercises to get to know each other. And then thank you for appointing me to the Student Affairs Committee recently. So I did attend the Student Senate meeting, and I'll continue to be active with that. So I've already talked about it. Thank you.
Member McDougal.
Two brief comments. First, I had the privilege of attending at my local community college, Santa Barbara City College, and helped to kick off a very impressive initiative, new initiative on student success called Express to Success Program, or ESP. And the work of the faculty, the counselors, and others, and the whole design of the program is extremely impressive, and was able to put that within the context of what is occurring statewide with the task force. Second, I want to add my thanks to the other board members for the wonderful hospitality that was extended to us and the very, very impressive campus that exists here. Not only the physical campus, but the sense of zeal and the purpose, the sense of purpose that seems so well imbued in this community. It was nice to experience it.